Hello, this is the fifth video and the summary on the Jeffcot rotor, looking at what we've done throughout the semester. Just to start, a little bit of history and some background on the rotor. It was developed by Henry Holman Jeffcot in 1919, and it was the first theory of prediction and attenuation for rotor vibration. This model is similar to the spring mass damper system, but it differs because it includes other external forces. This is a simple model used to evaluate more complex rotor dynamic systems. And prior to Jeffcott's publication of the lateral vibration of whirling speed, it was believed that supercritical rotational speeds were unobtainable. This was later changed because of his work. So looking at a layout of the system, it is a disc centered on a simply supported shaft. The shaft would have length L, and the rotating disc would have a rotational speed that would be defined as omega. Would also have a geometric center, which is C, and the vector E sub u would be defined as the distance from G to C, which is the distance from the center of gravity for the disk to the geometric center. And this is the basic setup that is used to create further models. So looking at general equations that we used in our Maple code and in creating the program, in a 2 degree of freedom system, we broke it down into the x and y components for both a damped and undamped system. So you have u of x and u of y for undamped and damped. And damped includes the decay ratio, which would include the undamped natural frequency, which is defined below, as well as the spring constant and dampening ratio. And these are all included in the Maple model, and as different components are included and initial conditions are included, the output would change. So looking at what happens when you change different outputs and looking at the model as a whole, we start with two equations with initial conditions and different inputs. Here we're looking at, we have the x and the z axes and components. And so XIC1, so we have the initial conditions for the first one, initial conditions for the second one. And then we include different inputs such as like the length, inner diameter, mass, spin, all that. And if we were to change the different values of that, we then look at what the output would change, what the change in output would be rather. So for a change in mass, which you can see there, we change the mass from 2 to 5, and it doesn't change the displacement of the overall vibration, but it changes the time it takes until the system reaches steady state. And this same process was done for various other variables, which was done in the previous project. So if you were to change omega or EU, which is the distance from G to C, you would see a change in the overall vibration, the magnitude of the vibration, and in this case, there's just a change in time. So overall, to conclude, the Jeffcot model is a good model for approximating rotations and vibrations of rotor systems, and it can lead into making other models, such as an FE analysis for more complex systems.